Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. As always, it's really great to see you. What a beautiful day it
It
is.
is.
And
It
we're
is.
here at Franklin Park, just west of Purcellville, for this week's video.
That's right. Ray and I are local real estate agents in Northern Virginia and also Western Northern Virginia. Every month for the past 2 years, we've been doing this. We review all the statistics from the previous month's home sales, and we tell you what it really means for anyone thinking of selling or buying a home.
You know, and after 2 years, surprisingly, you guys aren't tired of hearing from us
We're
yet.
so glad you haven't left yet.
That's very glad. Hey, well, let's go ahead and get started. In the month of February, the median sold price was $680,000.
This is up 4.6% from last month and up 6.3% from last year. This is really good appreciation on home values for sure.
And we say, this is pretty consistently, prices are holding strong,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah. The number of homes sold in the month of February was 1,570.
And this is up 10%
Yowzer.
from last month and down 9%
That's
from
exciting
last year.
news.
So that's really good news for us.
Yeah. The days on market, now again, this is the time where a listing goes on the market, is active through the time it goes under contract, was 22 days in February.
And this is down 8 days from the
That's
previous
significant.
month and 1 day from the previous year. And again, I think it says a lot for our buyers right now. They're excited, they're out there and they're home shopping regardless of that 6% interest rate.
Yeah, that's a big change. The number of homes for sale at the end of February was 2,565.
This is up 20% from last month.
Another nice significant
and up
change.
27% from last year.
Shazam.
And again, I like those last year numbers because it shows you seasonally what was happening in February of the previous year. And that's really good. That means more homes are coming on the market for sale. Buyers have more options.
Yeah, and we've talked about this many, many times, but inventory is the fuel for the marketplace. When the inventory is down, the whole marketplace comes down. And as it starts to go back up, you can just feel the excitement, kind of like, again, that agent on the street perspective. We were busy all weekend. We did an open house and we were just pretty much overwhelmed. It was good the two of us were there because we had people coming, in and going right, people going left, people going up the stairs, people going down the stairs. Kind of hard to even keep track of them.
Yeah.
And as we talked to some of the other agents in our office, the number of multiple offers that were coming in. This property, in fact, that we did the open house ended up getting multiple offers and sold above full price. So very significant in this marketplace to understand the energy is just starting to build, right?
That's right. And two things that stood out to me. One, this was happening in Fredericksburg. Not Arlington, not Falls Church or Fairfax. This was Fredericksburg. And we've been hearing the same story all around Northern Virginia. Additionally, the people winning the contracts and the bids aren't necessarily the all cash investors.
These are everywhere.
First-time buyers who are getting their first home. And I'm really happy for that because I think it says a lot to our local lenders and all the incentives they're offering to first-time home buyers to really get them ready for purchasing their new homes.
Yeah,
so
and as we've discussed before, there's a multitude of different loan programs that are available to the buyers, whether you're a first-time buyer or you're an experienced seasoned buyer. The down payment can range, and we talked about that recently. I mean, we're still seeing 0% downs to, the 20% downs. They're all over the gamut, and a good point, Denise. All these home buyers seem to be in a different part of their lives. Again, some going up, some coming down, downsizing. So it was interesting to see just how much enthusiasm. And it was also fun to watch the buyers that came in that had just gotten started. And we would joke with them and say, well, you still got some spirit, you still have hope, right, that you're going to find that home. Just teasing, of course.
Yes.
But it was fun to get an interaction with buyers, get a chance to get a little bit more of a pulse of the market. And certainly there's a lot still going on this week. So the market statistics came out, but of course we had the Fed Chair Jerome Powell, who's going to announce tomorrow what the Fed has decided to do with interest rates for the next, I guess, the next couple of months.
Yes.
The expectation is that nothing's going to happen, that they will not lower the federal funds rate and they won't raise this. There's a lot going on in the economy, so we'll make sure we report that to you as well. And then there's just other economics that kind of filter through the week, so we'll report on those and get those to you as soon as we hear them.
And I think that holding pattern is very similar to what's happening because we've gotten questions. The reality is you're hearing a lot about job losses in DC, federal workers losing their jobs. And how does that affect the real estate market? I think similar to what's happening with the Federal Reserve. People are on hold. It's not that everybody's all of a sudden going to pack up their bags and move to Florida. I think what's happening is everybody's waiting for the dust to settle to see what happens before they make a decision.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, the CPI report, that's of course the Consumer Price Index, came out last week, and that actually ticked down a little bit. It was 2.8 from the 3% the month before. And a phrase that I read about this week, which seems to kind of hold true with what you're suggesting, is that we're hearing the phrase stagnation, right?
Oh,
that we're probably not seeing these inflation rates drop dramatically or rise dramatically. And so the phrase was put out this last week in an article that I read called, basically it's stagnation, but we're seeing, this inflation rate that's kind of maintaining around that 3%, down a little bit, up a little bit. So who knows? We predicted in the past, maybe that's the new norm.
Yes.
2% is still the target. And I know the Fed is working hard to get to that. But this stagflation seems to be maybe where we're kind of holding right now.
Yeah, I think for sure.
Yeah.
But it's still good.
Yeah, it's still good. It's still strong. The market's very strong.
Yes.
All right. Well, again, we hope that the information that we bring to you each week is valuable and that your time spent with us is well served.
Yes. And we're going to ask you, we have a link below. It's to subscribe to our weekly newsletter. What we have in there is not just this great video, but we also include specific information for home sellers, home buyers on a weekly basis, so you really know. And we're going to include a new segment just for investors. So please sign up and get your newsletter. Yeah,
and stay tuned later in the week. We'll let you know what the Fed chair says tomorrow.
Yes.
Until next week, see you soon. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.